In November 2023, I posted a vlog that ended up with me like crying and having a total breakdown in the IHOP parking lot.
I feel like my soul's dying like a little bit every day.
And then 10 months later, I posted this.
I have something to tell you. Not my dreams coming true.
And even though that was like the most exciting chapter of my life that I could have started documenting, I disappeared and my channel went dark. So today I'm gonna fill you in on everything that happened between then and now.
Leslie Tyger.
We have Leslie Tyger.
I did it. So I lost the second half of my 20s to depression and just like really being in survival mode. Then once I finally dug myself out of that, I felt like I had no idea who I was anymore. I genuinely felt like I blacked out and I just woke up and was like 30. So in that video where I'm like crying in my car, basically I had done this exercise where you write down 25 things, cross out 20, and you only keep 5, and that is what you should focus on, and everything else is a distraction. I identified my 5. What it boiled down to was that I wanted to like break out of my 9-to-5 job. I wanted to have a creative career that I built on my own terms. I wanted to love the way that I looked and the way that I felt about myself. And I wanted to have better relationships, and I wanted to be part of a community. And it like broke me because I felt so distant from anything that I wanted to do. I felt like everything was impossible. So I decided to start documenting my life in a video diary on this channel where I just documented the process of like getting better, I guess. And I felt like it was really important for me to document these like small, messy steps that I was taking towards my goals. Today is the first day in a long time that I feel like I am starting to like myself. And then in September 2023, I finally got a really big win. It had been a years-long dream of mine to be able to be an art vendor in street festivals and markets. And I had gotten accepted into my first festival, which it's so funny looking back now because it was a really big deal for me at the time. But getting accepted into that festival was a major plot point. And during today's vlog, I'm going to tell you everything that happened after I posted that video because it was a lot. This life's not for me, man. I wonder all the time who allowed me to have a corporate job. I just want to make art. Like, I just want to make art and I just want to make videos, and I'm not ready to let that light within me die yet. So today I'm doing feed-free Friday. I decided it would be nice to have one day a week where I wasn't scrolling on like my Instagram feed, my TikTok feed, my news feed, and instead I'm just doing some of my favorite things, which are yapping to my camera, hobbies, side quests. My phone has already been bricked. This is my brick. I decorated it. Actually, my phone has already been bricked for almost 2 days. It's been 1 day, 23 hours, and 33 minutes. So I have spent a year now collecting all of these can tabs for my friend Taryn, and today is the day that I send them off by making a super special package. I would argue that this is what life is really about, making silly packages for your friends. She just said she needed them, and I said, I got you. I don't need to see your vision to trust your vision, okay? That's our base. I'm thinking I'm gonna do like a little bit of a Coca-Cola vibe, and I'm just using a fat ass Sharpie. I'm gonna do like the can top, and on the top, I'm appropriately going to make, so I got the top, we're looking really good so far. I'm gonna make a square like where the nutrition facts would be, and that is where the address is gonna go. This marker, get out of here. Oh my God, so much better. Shut up, this is really cute. You think they'll take this? I don't actually even know. Whatever, clear tape. Shut up. This is like the cutest thing I've ever made. All right, it feels pretty legit. Now we get to go see if they'll take this. The festival came and went, it was totally fine. And after that, I very quickly filled every spare second that I had with markets and festivals. I was doing a minimum of 1 per weekend and sometimes 3. To say that I was burning the candle at both ends is really an understatement. And so even though I was making no money during this time and I was just consistently losing money, 2 things came out of it that mattered more than anything that could have possibly happened for me. Oh my God, no way. They're closed. Number 1, I networked hard. I went from having like 1 friend in Phoenix to having a network of like 100+ people basically overnight because I was so immersed in this world. And the second thing that came out of it was kind of an accident. At the time I was making like stickers and some sort of stationery items, and I had all of these like extra scraps from cutting and packaging and doing all of that stuff. And they were just too pretty to throw out, but I had so many of them. So I put out a little container at my booth that just said free scraps, and people could come and like scavenge the scraps and put them in an envelope and take them. And like 99% of people who were walking by ignored it and didn't give a shit. But that 1% of people who did like it really, really liked it. And so them being excited got me excited. I was like, wait, am I finding my people? And so for context of time, this was also right around the inauguration. And people who I was getting to know, people within my community, were really stressed out, feeling very isolated. There was a lot of conversation about like feeling very powerless. And I started thinking about like whenever I felt very powerless. So like when I did have a breakdown in my 20s, when I did finally claw my way out of that, I was able to do that by literally like reconnecting with my hands and regaining a feeling of agency by like small creative acts. And for me, that had a domino effect to being able to like do bigger things and make bigger differences in my life. And I still stand by that 10 toes down. So I thought, well, I don't have much, but I have this market booth. I'm popping up like 1 to 3 times a week. And what if I started offering like a little craft that people could come and do? So I popped up like one little 4-foot table. I made a little makeshift sign on it that said the scrap bar. And I set it up with supplies, and people would get like a printed photo and then all the supplies, and they could make like a little scrapbook page. And people loved it. And luckily it was also something for me that was like, it had legs. It was like the one thing that was really starting to kind of work for me. So I added a second table, and then a third table, fourth table, fifth table, sixth table, until I had like the whole thing was the scrap bar. And I only offered this experience. I started floating the idea that I could start a junk journal club, and people loved the idea. So I went in on trying to find venues, and I was hoping that I could sell 10 tickets, but within 2 days I had to cap it at 30, and I actually had forgotten that I had listed the event on Eventbrite, and so somebody found the Eventbrite listing and bought 6 more. So my first event ended up at 36 people. Honestly, after that, everything happened like really, really quickly.
Guys, hello.
I think we should find out what is in these packages. Package number 1. This is something I've wanted to try for years. It's one of those little book nook kits that you build like a miniature, and this is the one that I picked. It's the Kowloon Walled City 2049 from the brand Anavrin. It lights up and stuff. I want to start working on that at night to help wind down, because I have not been having the easiest time winding down at night. All right, and number 2. I'm so excited about this one. Okay, I got excited and I had to do this immediately. So I have the Soolla Studio bag and the Soolla Studio pouch. I have been seeing these on Instagram for such a long time, and they are finally mine. First, before I put anything in it, a little pocket tour. So for the pouch, there are like all of these little pen pockets, and then some bigger ones. The back has a pocket here for like stickers or papers or whatever. And then there's inside, it says it fits an A5 journal. And for the studio bag, this thing is a beast. So there are all these little pockets here that you can put like pens, scissors, whatever. Then there are like taller pockets here, like rulers and stuff. Pockets on the side, definitely big enough to fit a water bottle. Inside, it has this nice big open space. Then it has 2 pockets on the sides. I need to put some stuff in it. My favorite pens, my journal, my planner, spiral notebook for scribbling, my brick. I could fit my iPad in here if I wanted to. I'm freaking out. My Filofax, my portable battery, which is dead, but phone charger, phone, everything is in here. And I still have so many more pockets. This is crazy. And for the pouch, I simply don't have the stamina to pack this right now. So that'll have to be a part 2. And now we just have everything we could possibly need. So at this point, I was basically working 2 full-time jobs, plus a half-time job since I still was doing markets. And I was trying so hard to like convince myself to stay at my 9 to 5, at least for as long as possible, because like it's just that dependable money. But by now, I was doing like 1 to 3 meetups a week, clocking out of my job, driving in rush hour traffic, calling like tables, sometimes chairs, a bunch of supplies in 115-degree heat. I was starting to have panic attacks again. I would be like working from bed in the complete dark in the middle of the day, like laying under the covers with my laptop sort of like on my chest working, and I would just have tears streaming down my face. Like physically, my body was having a panic attack, but mentally, my mind was working. It was not a good situation. And I was like, I can't fucking do this. Like, I was never going to magically feel ready. So I put in my notice and I quit. And it was fucking terrifying. Bye. I did it. So I just went full into it, and things started happening like really fast. Like for the most part, I was no longer applying to markets and festivals. Like I was invited to do stuff. I was interviewed on the radio on KJZZ Phoenix, which is like the local NPR. I was invited to be on the news, but I now found myself in a similar position before I quit my job, which is that I was exhausted. Because here's the thing, I'm an introvert. I'm not shy, but I do not get energy from being around people. I get drained very fast and very easily. So for me to be this social and doing this many events and being around so many people, I would need at least a full day of doing absolutely nothing after every event, and that's just like not feasible. And I didn't have any time or energy left for myself. My self-love was still suffering. I didn't feel like I at this point had hobbies for myself because everything was business. My relationship with like my boyfriend and my friends and my mom, I wasn't really able to dedicate any real time or energy to those things. And I realized I was just still in survival mode, but I was just in a different version of it than I was before. And that's a whole other conversation about how I started to learn that I was like really addicted to being in that survival mode. That's a whole other conversation. So in a lot of ways, I was really happy. Like my business was successful. I grew even more of a community. I made so many friends. So I felt like I had taken a step like out of one box, which was my 9-to-5 job. But now I had just made a new box to keep myself trapped in. And like I knew I had to do something. So at this point, I knew I just had to make another really hard and scary decision because of course I had no idea if anything was going to work out or how things were going to go. But I once again had to take that leap of faith, and exactly 1 year to the date from the time that I started Junk Journal Club, I had my last Junk Journal Club meeting. Okay. Do you know what scary hour is? It's like whenever you have some little nagging things to do and you just force yourself to do it for an hour. And I have a bunch of these like little tasks that are sort of hanging over my head. So I'm gonna do a scary hour, but I decided to make it like a little sweeter. I'm gonna do scary hour at the mall. Is that awkward? It probably is, but it's okay. Like when we were teenagers, we hung out at the mall all the time, and we really treated it like it was a third space, and I miss that. I miss hanging out at the mall, so I'm gonna hang out at the mall and do scary hour. So now I took another leap of faith and I ended Junk Journal Club. I massively scaled back events so that I was hardly doing any, and I was able to reposition my business where I was starting to do like larger, more corporate events that paid the bills for longer. And that allowed me to just sprinkle in Junk Journal and Craft Club meetups, so it was much more casual and just much more sustainable for me to do. And I was able to move into the next thing. I hadn't even been able to touch on the dream of being able to like make content a career. And this was yet another thing that I had no idea how I was really gonna make happen. So I decided to once again just throw everything into it, the same way that I did with vending, the same way that I did with Junk Journal Club, the same way that I did with my event business. I just went for it. I decided I was gonna do a project called The 100 Days of Making on Instagram. It was like these mini craft vlogs. It went great, and I got so much out of it that I decided to quit at day 86. I proved to myself that I could make content and I could do it every single day if I wanted to. And I figured out what I actually like making, like this vlog, which I have thought about every day since I stopped. I feel like I had a decade where nothing at all happened, and then I had a year where a decade happened. Like I still have so much that I want to accomplish, but everything that has happened since like the time that I first sat in this IHOP parking lot to now, it has just proved to me that I have that dog in me, and I have built that trust in myself that I can do hard things. I can make things happen. Like, the life that I'm living right now used to be my dream life. And it's not like it's perfect, like I'm still living month to month, but even though things are still so much in progress, I'm genuinely just so fucking happy. I'm grateful for all the versions of myself that I've been that have gotten me to the version of myself that I am now. And now I've built enough trust in myself that I know I am going to get myself to the next version of me. So I guess it's fitting that we just bring this full circle, right? I wrote my 25 things and I crossed out 20. I managed to narrow it down to the 5 things that I care the most about focusing on for this next chapter. Number 1 is I want to get into the YouTube partner program. I said it last time, I'm saying it again now. I want to do content creation full time, and getting into the YouTube partner program is a huge milestone for me. So that is number 1. Number 2 is I really want to give my online shop another try. I really want to see what can happen if I like put real time and energy into making my own stationery business. So I'd love to see how that can go for me. And these are in no particular order, by the way. Number 3 is I want to retire my mom. Like, what an achievement that would be. If my mom never had to work again because of me, baddie behavior. Number 4, I also said this one last time, but I really, really, really want to like find and embody my personal style. I feel like I'm kind of getting there. Like, I have reached a level of like self-love and self-confidence that I don't know that I've ever had before, to be honest. I'm still not like in love with my closet and everything. So the way that I put it last time is I want to perfect my human avatar. I have a philosophy that we, are able to really like customize ourselves as if we're designing an avatar in a game or like a sim or something. And I always really, really liked that idea. So that one stays the same. And number 5 is that I eventually want to just like have a condo with a great view. I don't feel any rush to like move anytime soon, but it is just a goal of mine one day to have an incredible view. So that is something that I will be working towards in the background of everything else. I'm really excited for my next chapter, and I'm really excited for yours too. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you next time. Bye.